In the darkest depths of an alien ocean, humanity will face its greatest mystery. Beneath miles of water on a distant exoplanet, something ancient watches and waits. When Earth's most advanced exploration team discovers intelligent life where it shouldn't exist, they'll have to decide, are these creatures saviors or predators? As boundaries between species blur and secrets unfold, one choice could change the fate of two civilizations forever. What lies beneath may not be what it seems. Subscribe now for this mind-bending sci-fi adventure. The massive exploration vessel descended through thick aquatic clouds, its powerful thrusters stirring currents that hadn't been disturbed in millennia. The planet's surface stretched endlessly in every direction, an unbroken mirror of deep green and cobalt blue that reflected the binary suns above. Sensors indicated depths beyond comprehension, with pressure zones that would crush conventional human technology instantly. Yet here they were, humanity's finest scientific minds and bravest explorers, floating above mysteries older than their own civilization. The mission had begun 3 standard years ago when long-range scanners detected unusual energy signatures emanating from beneath the planet's oceanic crust. Initial probes revealed structures too symmetrical, too precise to be natural formations. The discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community, evidence suggesting intelligent life existing in an environment previously thought incapable of supporting complex organisms. The implications were staggering, challenging everything understood about biology and evolution. As the ship's systems hummed with activity, researchers worked tirelessly at their stations, analyzing incoming data streams. The water below teemed with bioluminescent displays, creating constellations of light that danced across dark currents. Strange creatures flitted past observation windows, their forms defying terrestrial classifications. Some glowed with internal illumination while others seemed to bend light around them, appearing and disappearing in flashes of refracted color. The depth charts painted a picture of a world within a world. Vast trenches carved through the ocean floor like scars from some ancient cosmic event, while towering underwater mountains pierced nearly to the surface. Current patterns suggested complex weather systems operating entirely beneath the waves, creating conditions that might support life forms radically different from anything known. Temperature gradients revealed warm pockets nestled among freezing depths, potential oases for development and adaptation. Most intriguing were the readings indicating artificial modifications to the environment. Regular geometric shapes interrupted natural formations at key points throughout the ocean basin. These weren't random anomalies but deliberate constructions spanning hundreds of kilometers. Their purpose remained unknown, though theories ranged from communication arrays to habitat structures. Whatever their function, they represented intelligence operating on a scale that dwarfed human engineering achievements. The first encounter happened during a routine mapping expedition. A swarm of bioluminescent entities approached the submersible drones, moving with purpose rather than instinct. They formed intricate patterns in the water, shifting formations that resembled mathematical sequences. Each creature pulsed with light in coordinated rhythms, creating visual symphonies that seemed to carry meaning beyond mere biological expression. The display lasted exactly 17 minutes before the beings dissolved into the darkness as suddenly as they appeared. Back aboard the main vessel, analysis teams worked around the clock to decipher the encounter. Pattern recognition algorithms identified Fibonacci sequences embedded within the light displays, while spectral analysis revealed multiple layers of information encoded in different wavelengths. It wasn't random behavior. These creatures were communicating through light, perhaps even attempting to establish contact. The implications sent ripples through the scientific community, forcing a fundamental shift in understanding of intelligence and consciousness. Further observations revealed distinct castes within the underwater society. Larger entities moved with measured grace, their movements creating gravitational disturbances detectable by sensitive instruments. Smaller beings darted around them, seemingly acting as intermediaries or assistants. All shared common characteristics: translucent bodies containing complex internal structures visible through specialized imaging, and appendages capable of manipulating objects with precision rivaling human tools. Their physiology suggested a silicon-based biology adapted to extreme pressures and temperatures. Communication attempts became the mission's primary focus. Researchers developed responsive light patterns using the ship's external illumination systems, mimicking observed sequences while introducing basic mathematical concepts. The response was immediate and startling. The underwater entities began altering their displays to incorporate human-introduced elements, building upon them in ways that demonstrated understanding and intent. This dialogue of light evolved rapidly, progressing from simple numerical exchanges to more complex symbolic representations. The breakthrough came during a particularly intense exchange. One of the larger entities positioned itself directly beneath the vessel, emitting a continuous pattern while smaller companions arranged themselves in concentric circles. Through enhanced imaging, scientists observed microscopic adjustments in their internal structures, creating interference patterns that generated low-frequency sound waves. These acoustic signals carried additional layers of information, suggesting a dual-mode communication system combining visual and auditory elements. The discovery of dual-mode communication opened new avenues for interaction, but also raised unsettling questions. The acoustic signals contained harmonics that resonated with the ship's structural integrity fields, causing subtle vibrations throughout the vessel. While not dangerous, these resonances hinted at technological understanding far beyond initial estimates. More concerning was how precisely the entities modulated their frequencies to match the ship's specific harmonic profile, as if scanning or testing its capabilities. Research teams divided into specialized groups, each focusing on different aspects of the emerging relationship. Linguists worked alongside mathematicians to map correlations between visual patterns and acoustic signals, while xenobiologists studied recorded encounters for clues about social structure and hierarchy. The entity's behavior suggested sophisticated organizational principles. Certain individuals consistently took lead roles in communications, while others acted as guardians or observers. Their movements demonstrated awareness of both individual and group dynamics, hinting at complex social protocols. Attempts to establish deeper communication revealed unexpected challenges. When researchers introduced more advanced mathematical concepts, the entities responded with patterns that didn't align with any known number systems. Instead, they presented a form of multidimensional geometry that defied conventional understanding. These representations suggested spatial awareness extending beyond 3 dimensions, possibly even incorporating time as a manipulable variable. The implications were profound, suggesting cognitive abilities that processed reality in fundamentally different ways. Environmental monitoring revealed another layer of complexity. The entities maintained precise control over localized water chemistry, temperature, and pressure zones. They created microenvironments suitable for different activities, demonstrating mastery over their domain. More intriguing was how these environmental adjustments correlated with communication attempts, as if physical conditions were being modified to facilitate information exchange. This integration of environmental manipulation with communication strategies spoke of a civilization that viewed their surroundings as an extension of their consciousness. Tensions mounted as the research team grappled with ethical dilemmas surrounding their interactions. The entities demonstrated clear intelligence and self-awareness, yet their motives remained inscrutable. Some scientists argued for cautious engagement, concerned that human presence might disrupt delicate ecological balances or provoke defensive responses. Others advocated for aggressive investigation, believing that establishing firm contact outweighed potential risks. The debate intensified as evidence mounted suggesting the entities possessed technology capable of affecting the ship's systems. Observation protocols revealed increasingly sophisticated behaviors. The entities began arranging themselves in formations that mirrored the ship's sensor arrays, positioning themselves at optimal angles for maximum detection. They demonstrated awareness of the vessel's operational parameters, adjusting their displays to match specific wavelengths and frequencies used by onboard instruments. This deliberate calibration suggested not only technical knowledge but also strategic thinking, raising questions about whether their actions represented genuine attempts at communication or sophisticated reconnaissance. A breakthrough occurred during a prolonged observation period. The entities gathered in unprecedented numbers, forming a vast network that spanned several kilometers. Through enhanced imaging, researchers detected complex energy transfers occurring between individuals, similar to neural synapses firing in a collective consciousness. This organic network processed information at rates surpassing quantum computers, with data flowing in multidirectional patterns that defied linear analysis. The display lasted for hours, culminating in a single coherent message transmitted through both light and sound. The message contained multiple layers of information, beginning with basic mathematical constants, then progressing to representations of astronomical phenomena. Most startling was a sequence depicting the planet's orbital mechanics, including precise calculations of its twin sun's gravitational effects. Embedded within these calculations were markers corresponding to significant events in the planet's history, meteor impacts, tectonic shifts, and evolutionary milestones. The accuracy and detail suggested records maintained over geological timescales, preserved and transmitted through generations of collective memory. As understanding deepened, researchers faced mounting evidence of the entity's technological sophistication. Observations revealed structures previously dismissed as natural formations were actually biomechanical constructs, seamlessly integrating organic and synthetic components. These hybrid architectures demonstrated capabilities beyond human engineering, self-repairing materials, adaptive energy systems, and biomimetic interfaces that blurred the line between living organism and machine. The implications challenged fundamental assumptions about technological development paths. The entities began responding to human attempts at communication with increasing complexity. They introduced new elements to their displays, fractal patterns that shifted between dimensions, temporal sequences predicting future events, and quantum entanglement demonstrations visible through specialized sensors. Each advancement forced researchers to expand their analytical frameworks, developing new mathematical models and conceptual tools just to keep pace. The learning curve proved steep, with breakthroughs often leading to more questions than answers. Particularly troubling were observations suggesting the entities manipulated space-time on local scales. During communication sessions, researchers detected minute warping of the surrounding water matrix, creating pockets of altered physics. Time dilation effects became apparent when synchronized atomic clocks aboard the ship registered discrepancies during intense exchanges. These phenomena weren't random occurrences, but deliberate demonstrations, as if the entities were showcasing their capabilities while maintaining careful control over their effects. Environmental monitoring revealed another layer of complexity. The entities maintained vast networks of interconnected habitats, each optimized for different purposes. Some served as nurseries for developing young, others functioned as processing centers for information exchange, while still others appeared dedicated to environmental maintenance. The sophistication of these systems suggested a civilization that had achieved perfect harmony with its surroundings, viewing technology not as separate from nature, but as its extension and enhancement. The dynamic between humans and the underwater entities evolved into a delicate dance of mutual observation and experimentation. Researchers noticed patterns emerging in the timing and location of encounters, suggesting the entities followed complex social protocols governing interaction with outsiders. These patterns aligned with tidal cycles and electromagnetic fluctuations in ways that indicated conscious scheduling rather than random occurrence. The precision of these arrangements hinted at organizational capabilities rivaling, or perhaps exceeding, human bureaucratic systems. Communication efforts revealed unexpected facets of the entity's psychology. When presented with abstract concepts, they responded with displays incorporating emotional components, color variations suggesting pleasure or curiosity, movement patterns indicating anticipation or caution. These responses weren't merely reflexive, but showed nuanced understanding of context and implication. Particularly fascinating was their reaction to representations of human history and culture, which they interpreted through unique filters that emphasized continuity and change over linear progress. Scientific teams struggled to reconcile conflicting interpretations of the entity's behavior. Some viewed their actions as evidence of peaceful intentions, pointing to cooperative responses and willingness to share knowledge. Others remained skeptical, noting how carefully the entities controlled information flow and maintained certain boundaries. This duality manifested in their communication patterns, which alternated between openness and calculated withholding of details, creating a complex interplay of trust and caution. Environmental impact studies added another layer of complexity to the relationship. The entities demonstrated remarkable ability to maintain ecological balance despite their technological sophistication. Their activities left minimal traces in the surrounding ecosystem, with waste products either completely recycled or neutralized through advanced biological processes. This harmony with their environment suggested a philosophy of existence fundamentally different from human approaches to technological development, where progress often came at ecological cost. A pivotal moment arrived during an extended communication session that pushed both species to their limits. The entities initiated a complex exchange involving simultaneous manipulation of multiple physical variables: temperature gradients, pressure zones, electromagnetic fields, and acoustic resonance patterns. These factors combined to create a temporary pocket of altered reality within which information transfer occurred at unprecedented rates. Researchers found themselves experiencing direct sensory input from the entity's perspective, perceiving their environment through non-visual means, and feeling the interconnectedness of their collective consciousness. This intimate connection revealed shocking insights about the entity's true nature. They weren't merely intelligent beings adapted to underwater existence, but representatives of a vast network spanning the entire planet's oceans. Their individual consciousnesses merged and separated fluidly, forming temporary collectives for specific tasks while maintaining core identities. This flexibility allowed them to process information and make decisions at scales incomprehensible to human minds, yet they retained personal experiences and memories that contributed to the greater whole. The experience profoundly affected the human researchers, many of whom reported lasting changes in perception and cognition. Standard psychological evaluations showed increased neural connectivity patterns resembling those observed in the entity's communication networks. Subjects demonstrated enhanced pattern recognition abilities and improved spatial awareness, suggesting residual effects from the direct interface. These changes, while beneficial, raised ethical concerns about unintended consequences of continued interaction. Technical analysis of the encounter revealed another startling revelation. The entities utilized quantum entanglement not just for communication, but as a fundamental aspect of their existence. Their consciousness operated across multiple locations simultaneously, with individual components maintaining coherence over vast distances through mechanisms not fully understood. This quantum consciousness explained their ability to coordinate complex activities without apparent signaling, achieving levels of synchronization impossible for purely classical systems. As understanding deepened, researchers encountered phenomena that challenged established scientific paradigms. The entities demonstrated mastery over fundamental forces in ways that suggested control extending beyond conventional physics. During communication sessions, they manipulated gravitational fields to create stable platforms within the water column, apparently defying hydrostatic pressure gradients. These artificial environments maintained consistent properties regardless of surrounding conditions, providing safe zones for interaction that protected both species from environmental extremes. The implications of such control became clearer during joint experiments. When researchers attempted to replicate observed effects using conventional technology, the entities intervened to stabilize potentially dangerous situations. Their actions prevented catastrophic failures in testing equipment and protected vulnerable ecosystems from collateral damage. This intervention wasn't indiscriminate but targeted, suggesting sophisticated risk assessment capabilities combined with moral imperatives that guided their behavior in ways both predictable and mysterious. Pattern analysis revealed another layer of complexity in their technological approach. The entities employed biomimetic solutions to engineering challenges, using living systems as integral components of their infrastructure. Structures once thought artificial proved to be living organisms cultivated and shaped for specific purposes. These bioengineered constructs displayed emergent properties that exceeded the sum of their parts, demonstrating symbiotic relationships between different species working in concert to achieve complex functions. Perhaps most intriguing was their approach to information storage and processing. Rather than relying on centralized systems, they distributed knowledge across vast networks of interconnected organisms. Each individual carried fragments of collective memory, with complete records accessible only through coordinated effort. This decentralized architecture provided unparalleled resilience against data loss while allowing for rapid adaptation to changing circumstances. The system's efficiency made human digital networks seem primitive by comparison. The relationship entered a critical phase as researchers attempted to establish formal protocols for interaction. The entities responded with a structured framework of their own, presenting a comprehensive set of guidelines governing acceptable behaviors and boundaries. These protocols incorporated elements of their social organization, environmental management practices, and technological limitations, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of diplomatic relations despite never having encountered other intelligent species before. Analysis of these protocols revealed fundamental differences in value systems. Where human cultures often prioritized individual achievement and competition, the entities emphasized collective progress and harmony. Their decision-making processes involve consensus building across vast networks, with conflicts resolved through synthesis rather than compromise. This approach produced remarkably stable societies, but required patience and flexibility that challenged human researchers' traditional methods of negotiation and agreement. Environmental considerations played a central role in all interactions. The entities insisted on maintaining strict controls over human activities affecting their habitats, implementing monitoring systems that tracked even minor changes in water chemistry or current patterns. These restrictions sometimes conflicted with scientific objectives, forcing researchers to develop innovative solutions that balanced knowledge acquisition with ecological preservation. The resulting compromises often led to unexpected breakthroughs, demonstrating how constraints could drive creativity when approached collaboratively. Communication protocols evolved to include multiple channels of interaction, recognizing that different types of information required appropriate mediums for transmission. Visual displays remained primary but were supplemented by acoustic signals, chemical markers, and even subtle manipulations of water pressure and temperature. This multimodal approach acknowledged the strengths and limitations of both species' sensory capabilities, creating a richer tapestry of exchange that transcended simple language translation. The discovery of historical records revolutionized understanding of the entity's civilization. Embedded within their communication patterns were chronological markers tracing back millions of years, documenting evolutionary developments, technological breakthroughs, and environmental adaptations. These records revealed periods of rapid advancement followed by long stretches of stability, suggesting a cyclical approach to progress that contrasted sharply with humanity's constant pursuit of innovation. Archaeological surveys uncovered ancient structures buried deep within the ocean floor, their designs echoing patterns seen in modern communication displays. Analysis revealed these weren't abandoned ruins but active components of the entity's infrastructure, maintained through biological processes rather than mechanical repair. The seamless integration of past and present suggested a civilization that valued continuity while embracing change, preserving historical knowledge through living traditions rather than static monuments. Evolutionary studies painted a picture of gradual development punctuated by dramatic shifts. Genetic markers indicated multiple convergent evolutionary paths leading to current forms, with different lineages contributing specialized capabilities to the collective whole. This mosaic approach to evolution resulted in a species that combined diverse traits in ways that maximized adaptability while maintaining core identity. The process demonstrated how environmental pressures could shape intelligence in unexpected directions. Technological advancements followed parallel tracks, with biological and mechanical innovations influencing each other in recursive feedback loops. Early tools emerged from modified body parts, evolving into external devices that eventually integrated back into physiology. This cycle of development created a technological ecosystem where nothing was truly obsolete. Every invention contributed to the next stage of progress, forming layers of capability that built upon previous achievements while opening new possibilities. Breakthroughs in understanding communication protocols revealed deeper layers of social organization. The entities operated within nested hierarchies that defied simple categorization, with individuals shifting roles based on situational requirements rather than fixed status. Leadership emerged organically from consensus rather than appointment, with decision-making authority flowing to those best suited for specific challenges. This fluid structure allowed rapid adaptation to changing circumstances while maintaining overall cohesion. Researchers documented complex rituals marking transitions between life stages, each accompanied by distinctive communication patterns. These ceremonies weren't merely ceremonial but served practical functions, facilitating redistribution of responsibilities and updating collective knowledge bases. The precision with which information transferred during these events suggested sophisticated mechanisms for knowledge management, ensuring continuity while allowing for innovation and growth. Social bonds extended beyond immediate groups through intricate networks of obligation and reciprocity. Entities maintain connections across vast distances, their relationships strengthened by shared experiences and accumulated trust. These bonds manifested in communication patterns that incorporated elements from multiple participants, creating composite messages that preserved individual contributions while synthesizing them into coherent wholes. The resulting exchanges demonstrated how collective intelligence could emerge from independent agents working in harmony. Conflict resolution mechanisms revealed another facet of their society. Disputes were addressed through structured dialogues that emphasized understanding over victory, seeking solutions that satisfied all parties' essential needs while acknowledging legitimate concerns. This approach required participants to temporarily merge consciousness, experiencing each other's perspectives directly before proposing resolutions. The process fostered empathy and cooperation, transforming potential adversaries into collaborators committed to mutual benefit. The integration of human and entity technologies produced unexpected synergies. Researchers discovered that certain materials developed by the entities exhibited properties useful for improving human equipment performance under extreme conditions. These biomaterials, when combined with conventional alloys and composites, created hybrids that maintained structural integrity while gaining adaptive capabilities. The resulting improvements enabled deeper exploration and longer-duration missions, expanding opportunities for interaction and study. Collaborative projects revealed fundamental differences in technological philosophy. While human engineers focused on discrete components and modular design, the entities embraced holistic systems where individual parts contributed to overall functionality through emergent properties. This approach led to counterintuitive solutions that combined seemingly incompatible elements into unified wholes, challenging researchers to rethink established design principles and embrace more organic development processes. Energy utilization patterns offered particular insight into their technological mindset. The entities harnessed ambient energy sources through sophisticated conversion mechanisms that minimized waste and maximized efficiency. Their power systems operated on multiple scales simultaneously, drawing from quantum-level interactions while maintaining macroscopic stability. This mastery of energy dynamics suggested approaches to sustainable development that could revolutionize human industry if properly understood and applied. Information processing techniques demonstrated another area of potential collaboration. The entity's neural network architecture differed fundamentally from human-designed systems, utilizing quantum superposition states to perform calculations across multiple dimensions simultaneously. Attempts to model these processes revealed new approaches to problem-solving that combined intuition with rigorous analysis, suggesting pathways to artificial intelligence development that respected rather than replaced human cognitive abilities. Environmental stewardship emerged as a central theme in understanding the entity's civilization. Their approach to resource management combined advanced technology with deep ecological awareness, creating systems that enhanced rather than exploited natural processes. Waste products became inputs for other cycles, forming closed loops that maintained ecosystem health while supporting technological development. This integration of biology and engineering suggested sustainable solutions to problems plaguing human societies. Studies of their habitat modification techniques revealed sophisticated understanding of environmental dynamics. Rather than imposing artificial structures on their surroundings, the entities worked with natural currents and geological features to create functional spaces that complemented existing conditions. These modifications enhanced biodiversity while providing necessary infrastructure, demonstrating how technological advancement could coexist with ecological preservation through careful planning and execution. Climate control mechanisms showcase their mastery of planetary-scale engineering. By manipulating water temperature gradients and salinity levels, they maintained stable conditions across vast regions despite external influences. These interventions occurred gradually and precisely, avoiding disruptive effects while achieving desired outcomes over extended periods. The patience and foresight required for such projects highlighted fundamental differences in temporal perspective between species accustomed to rapid change and those practicing long-term planning. Resource extraction methods exemplified their commitment to sustainability. When harvesting materials from their environment, they implemented systems that promoted regeneration and minimized impact. Extraction sites became incubators for new growth, with carefully managed recovery periods ensuring continued availability of essential resources. This approach contrasted sharply with human practices of intensive exploitation followed by remediation efforts, suggesting more effective strategies for managing finite supplies while meeting technological needs. As the mission approached its final phase, researchers grappled with the implications of their discoveries. The entities represented not just an alternative form of intelligence, but an entirely different trajectory of technological and social development. Their mastery of quantum consciousness, environmental integration, and collective decision-making offered humanity potential pathways to address its own challenges while raising fundamental questions about the nature of progress and civilization. The knowledge gained demanded careful consideration of how to apply these insights responsibly. Ethical considerations dominated discussions about future interactions. The entities' demonstrated capabilities suggested they could easily overwhelm human technology if threatened or provoked, yet they maintained careful control over their demonstrations of power. This restraint spoke to a moral framework that prioritized peaceful coexistence over dominance, though the underlying reasons remained unclear. Researchers debated whether this represented genuine altruism or calculated strategy, with implications for how humanity should proceed in establishing long-term relationships. The impact on human society loomed large in these deliberations. Information about the entity's technological achievements could transform multiple fields overnight, from materials science to artificial intelligence to environmental engineering. However, premature release of incomplete knowledge risked misuse or misunderstanding, potentially leading to unintended consequences that could harm both species. Balancing the need for scientific advancement with responsible dissemination became a central challenge facing mission leadership. Future research directions crystallized around several key areas. Developing more sophisticated interfaces for direct communication topped the list, followed by deeper investigations into their quantum consciousness and environmental integration techniques. Studies of their social organization and conflict resolution mechanisms offered insights into addressing human societal challenges, while examination of their technological philosophy suggested alternative approaches to innovation and development. Each avenue promised revolutionary breakthroughs but required careful navigation to avoid cultural contamination or technological dependency. The mission concluded with a profound sense of both achievement and humility. Humanity had encountered its first confirmed extraterrestrial intelligence not through dramatic first contact scenarios, but through patient observation and incremental understanding. The entities had demonstrated wisdom and restraint, sharing knowledge while maintaining protective boundaries that acknowledged both species' vulnerabilities. This careful dance of revelation and reservation suggested a maturity in interspecies relations that humanity had yet to fully grasp. Legacy systems implemented during the mission ensured ongoing monitoring and documentation of interactions. Automated observation platforms equipped with advanced sensors continued gathering data while adhering to strict protocols protecting both species' interests. These systems incorporated lessons learned about environmental impact and cultural sensitivity, serving as templates for future encounters with intelligent life. The infrastructure established represented humanity's first permanent presence dedicated to sustained interspecies communication. The impact on human civilization rippled through scientific communities and popular imagination alike. New disciplines emerged at the intersection of marine biology, quantum physics, and sociology, while traditional fields reoriented their approaches to incorporate insights gained from studying the entities. Educational systems adapted to teach concepts of collective consciousness and environmental integration, preparing future generations to navigate increasingly complex relationships between technology and nature. As researchers prepared to leave the planet's orbit, the entities orchestrated a final display that transcended previous communications in complexity and beauty. Patterns of light and sound filled the surrounding waters, encoding messages of farewell and hope for future meetings. The demonstration suggested they viewed this encounter not as an endpoint, but as the beginning of a long-term relationship requiring care and dedication from both sides. The experience left an indelible mark on all who witnessed it, reminding humanity of its place within a universe far stranger and more wonderful than previously imagined. If you enjoyed this deep dive into alien contact, subscribe to our channel for more mind-expanding sci-fi adventures that explore the boundaries of human understanding.